Hey, what's up, everyone? You're currently tuned into TBD on KCSB FM 91.9 in Santa Barbara and netnetradio.com out of Tijuana. Today, Lai Talk and I are once again joined by hammer dulcimer engineer Jen Powers and guitar slinger Matthew Rolin, both comprising the Powers Rolin duo and are now officially Astral Edition label curators. How you guys doing?
We're good.
Great. Thanks for having us.
We're moving in under 3 weeks. So like our house is just
a mess.
We actually wanted to like ask you about that. You're moving to Athens?
Yeah.
Athens, Ohio.
Okay.
Which is, that's where Ohio University is. It's known as like a party place, but we're actually moving 6 miles outside of town onto an active horse farm.
That's honestly sick.
Yeah. So it's going to be very quiet and idyllic, and we can have our morning coffee and like literally look at horses out to pasture. It's going to be really lovely.
Oh my goodness.
Do you guys like I guess consider yourselves equestrians at all? Like, do you ride horses or anything, or are you guys just like moving there and it just happens to be like a horse farm?
That's the latter is more true.
Yeah.
I have been on horses. I learned to ride, but I was, 11, and I'm going to be like 33 in a couple weeks.
I see.
6 weeks. Yeah. So it's been a while.
Yeah.
But I would love to learn again.
Yeah, that'd be sick. That's cool.
I just want to pet a horse and like feed it oats. That's my initial goal.
Yeah, petting horses is honestly really dope. Like their noses are so soft.
Yeah.
I just like all animals, and like we weren't trying to like move to a horse farm or anything like that, but this crazy listing came up on Craigslist as I've been searching for ways to escape Columbus for over a year and a half now or something like that.
Yeah.
And we went and checked it out that day that it was listed, and it was like perfect. So we just threw down the deposit on it like right then.
Oh my goodness.
That's honestly sick.
Wow.
That's cool.
How had Columbus been in the last year? Have you guys still been able to book shows and, put together stuff? Are you still intending to?
Yeah, yes and no.
I mean, we have put together shows, but have they been at all what we wanted them to be or rewarding in any way? No.
Really? That's honestly a bummer.
Wow. It's really bleak. Yeah.
Really? That's sad. So
Columbus is in a huge transition right now. Where it was going from basically like kind of an afterthought to any city in Ohio, even though it's the state capital, to now turning into like I walk around and there's like tech bro dudes that are like, oh yeah, this is the new Silicon Valley, baby, Columbus, Ohio.
Yeah, that's random. That's kind of terrible.
There's an Intel plant that's getting built east of the city.
Google too.
Wow, Google too. That is so random. Wow.
It's happened in Santa Barbara too.
Yeah, it actually
and that's the thing. I'm like, I know we're not even unique in that, and it's just sad what's happening. I mean, Columbus was never like a premier spot for like the arts, I would argue. There have always been like cool scenes, but like it's just getting crushed by, like rent is up, I don't know, 60-70% from what it was like 5 years ago. So it's not quite as dramatic as like other places in the US, but like it's still just completely insane, especially considering we do have some like rent control laws. But like even within those parameters, it's getting like fucking out of control.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
That's really unfortunate to hear. So do you guys still have like a bunch of friends in Columbus, or did they kind of like dip too?
A lot of them have moved. Actually.
Yeah, a lot of them have moved. We're following a couple down to Athens.
Okay.
Another good friend of ours, Albert, who painted our house for the cover of my solo record from 2019.
Oh, yes.
He's originally from Connecticut, and him and his family are moving to Vermont shortly too.
Oh, wow.
So like, I mean, there's definitely people that are still here, but like the scene... Or like, having more than like 10 people come out to one of our gigs in Columbus died like with the pandemic pretty much.
Oh, wow. So that's
end of 2019 was actually kind of magical. It was when we had like a string of really, really great shows that like, we were bringing through like people we loved and really believed in, but it seemed like the local scene believed in it too.
Mhm.
And it was really great. And then, we booked one show in 2020, February 29th. It was the leap year.
Yeah.
It was Zach Rowden came through, and like that was great.
That's
but
sick.
yeah, after that, like nothing. And yeah, nothing until I think this year was the first year we hosted again, and it hasn't been it hasn't been very good.
We've definitely brought through people that rule.
Yeah.
But it's one of those situations where I have to now be like, hey, you have a place to stay and you have a show.
But we can't guarantee a crowd. Like,
yeah, where there's no guarantee. I can't guarantee a crowd. I mean, like,
we will make sure that you have enough money to like fill up your tank and have a meal, but like beyond that,
like we booked that band Dummy back in April. At the spot that we always play at, and I mean I love them, and they're all very, very nice people.
They're incredible,
and I don't think that they've ever played Columbus before, and I was like, I was really disappointed at the turnout at their show, and
that's like an indie show too.
They come out on Sub Pop, so it's
that's what I'm saying.
Like through again, and I'm sure that show will be well attended, but it's like it's marketed in this different way, and like they're coming through with like another big band.
Oh yeah, they're coming through with Horse Girl.
Horse Girl.
Oh yeah.
So,
like literally the day after we move. So we're super bummed.
Yeah, that's a bummer.
And it couldn't have been like 2 days earlier.
Yeah.
But and I really hope that show does amazingly well, because they deserve far better than the turnout in April.
They were all chill and didn't care, for the record. They're amazing people, and they jammed.
Oh yeah, they rule, and it was great.
Yeah.
They have been hustling. Undeniably, they have just been hustling.
I don't know how they do it.
I was reading the list of dates today, which I've done before, but I hadn't seen it all in like one, single flyer. And I was like, oh my God, they're out for like 6+ weeks.
That's
like,
gnarly,
that's so intense. And I know some of them have pets, and I'm like, how can you be away from your baby for that long?
Yeah.
But good for them, man. I hope they blow up. They deserve it. And
they're so sick.
They're so good. Yeah.
I guess that brings us a bit into our next question, though, because Dummy, I think, had done a really good job on Twitter of emphasizing and documenting the woes of COVID. A lot of acts we had noticed back during spring were getting COVID, and just having to read X just completely be like, okay. And for both of y'all, we were very excited because at the end of May, you were going to come out, and I was going to drive up to LA to catch the show. Thomas was going to go down, and you both made the conscious decision it's not worth it to do a West Coast tour if we're going to get COVID. And it just seemed extremely likely. In fact, I have COVID right now. I got the most minor variant, but still I'm out of work for like 10 days, and it just kills you. And I guess the thing is that at this point, like is it viable, do you think, to come out to the West Coast or to tour outside of the Midwest for you all at any point? Do you think you could do that even within the next year?
I mean,
not until we're guaranteed not to get it. Or, I mean, if we could get like a guarantee for every show, regardless of whether or not we play, sure. But that's not realistic for us. And
I wouldn't expect that either from venues.
No, and I wouldn't either. Like, why would they do that? And that's totally fine. I'm not, we're not bitter about that at all, and we understand. But it's just not viable, because it's like, if we get hit with COVID and we're paying, even if we're lucky, like $150 a night for a hotel in like Southern California to like isolate for 5 days, when like, who knows like what our PTO situation is going to be. And then on top of that, we're just like, there's no income for any of the shows that we would have been playing. Like, it would just bankrupt us, which is why we decided not to in the first place.
So, I mean, at the time that we decided to cancel that, which really sucked, because I booked that whole tour pretty much myself. And I did a lot of work with that, and talked to a lot of people who were very friendly, who also did a lot of work to help us make this happen, and then it was like every single band that came through here during that period of time, like late March through end of April, every single one that we booked got COVID on like a tour that was longer than like a week. And then they had to be stuck in like a hotel or like a friend's place that was like chill somewhere.
Yeah.
And miss like 5 or 6 shows.
I mean, it happened with Dummy too. Like, you know, came through here and it was good. And to be fair, the people who did come out to our show were, for the most part, really respectful, kept the masks on. So they didn't catch it here, but, you know, sure enough, within like a couple days, they got it somewhere. And then they were stuck in like, you know, I don't know, like Fairfax, Virginia or something. It was somewhere in the middle of Virginia. Like,
they made it back to Baltimore, which is where they're from originally. So like
they did. I thought they were stuck in Virginia for a few days.
I don't know.
I mean, regardless, it got derailed, and you know, Joe's husband, the drummer, like he had a kind of like a lasting series of symptoms that prevented, you know, even more than the initial 5 dates they thought they would miss. Like it was really serious, and it was messed up, and it was scary. And they lost a bunch of money, I'm sure. And and that was just like one example of like literally dozens we saw within a few weeks. So just threw in the towel. So I'm hoping we can, but I honestly don't see it happening until there's a really viable secondary option, either through guarantees or through like additional vaccines, or the cases actually drop enough,
or people like this country has like fucked this up so bad. I mean, the whole world has. But I think it's going to get to a point now where it's like, well, okay, so you have your vaccine. Hopefully you got boosted. The second we can get a second booster, I'm going to get one too. And honestly, like, you know, I think eventually people are just going to, it's not going away, and people are just going to have to be like, I mean, how many times have you gone to a gig and like someone's like, I have the flu, you know, I'm playing this gig, which sucks, but like, I don't want to cancel it. And like, I'm in the middle of a tour. I think it's eventually going to turn into that. But like, until it gets to the point where it's like, well, it's like, I'm asymptomatic, but I'm testing positive for COVID and I don't want to spread it because there are idiots that are not getting vaccinated out there. So I have to cancel 5 shows in a row or whatever until that's gone. And it's just like, you had your chance, man, like deal with it. You know, you might get it anywhere you go in public. That I don't see. I mean, I don't have any PTO or anything like that. And so like, if
I do for another week, but who knows with the new job.
If I book a 3-week tour where I'm driving across the country and then I have to cancel like 5 to 10 of those dates when I'm like all the way across the country, that's a nightmare. I can't do that, you know, like, and I mean, I'm sure I could stay with like a friend in their basement or something in like Los Angeles for a while, but like, I don't want to do that either, you know?
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. And it sucks. And then I think about like, I don't know, it's just endlessly frustrating because there were so many options our country and the world at large could have taken, not only to protect the people who are being, you know, smart about it, but also just people who are being smart about it, but are also immunocompromised. Like, it's not fair to that sect of the population. Like, they should be able to go out to shows again. And I feel like a lot of them can't. Like, I have friends who are just like, I literally can't leave my house still years later. Yeah, I don't know. So I guess the long story is like made short is, maybe not out to the West Coast. Like we might be able to do East Coast because it's close enough that if we do get popped with COVID, we can make it back within like a day's drive without having to stop anywhere except for like gas. But West Coast, I don't know when it'll happen.
Just swinging off of that, now I do feel you though. I mean, still people have been very abysmal about wearing masks. I went to a series of shows in April and very few, 4 different venues, I mean, very few across the board.
No one wears them here anymore.
I was trying to
Ohio.
We went to a show last night and like maybe 5% of the room was masked. Granted, our cases are very low out here compared to the West Coast right now, from what I've seen.
Oh yeah, it's wild.
Still, you know, still happens. It's not zero.
Yeah, and like people just don't care. And like, I mean, the spot we're moving to is, I mean, it's like a liberal college town, but it's definitely way more rural than anything I've ever lived in my entire life. and no one wears masks there at all.
Oh, wow.
And like even like all the people that are smart liberal
Good
people, I guess. Not that like you can't be smart if you're not liberal, because
But they're also,
nothing matters anymore with that shit because everyone sucks. But like
they're compassionate, but I'm
gonna have to be bartending and probably not wear a mask while I'm bartending, just so I don't have like random people trying to like fight me about like wearing it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I feel like if you're in that position, you probably get people like heckling you and stuff, right?
Yeah. I mean, people heckle me here in Columbus.
Yeah.
Wow.
This is insane.
That's messed up.
That's
really.
just something that, at my job, I don't have to deal with when I wear a mask, but I can just imagine it's just fatiguing. It's like, why am I going to have to be yelled at for this?
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. I mean, even at the library, I haven't had it in a while, but right when our mandate lifted statewide, and then more importantly, citywide where I work, which I guess is technically a different city from where we live. Anyway, I continued to wear my mask, and I still do.
Uh-huh.
And I definitely had like, mostly like older guys being like, "Whoa, why are you still wearing that silly thing?"
Yeah.
And I'm just like, "Oh, it's almost like people are still, like suffering from this." Like, like I have a life outside of this part-time job, man. Like, I don't want to derail that for a week at a time. Yeah, I don't know. It's rough.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't really see anybody in SoCal at least wearing masks. And like it shows, I feel like it's even like worse, you know what I'm saying? And it's like crazy because it's like it's still like happening.
It's over, dude.
Yeah,
it's
straight up, dude.
We put down the mission accomplished banner.
Yeah,
it seems like California, from the maps I saw this week, it seems like California is one of like, now it's like the hot spot, whereas New York, I mean, New York's kind of popping off, but like California was the only one that had like red on the map. And I was just like, ooh.
I didn't realize it was like that bad until like recently. I saw like one of like the hotspot maps like showing, or I got like one of the COVID emails from the county saying like, yeah, we're now in like the highest risk level. And I was like, damn, that's a bummer. And then it's crazy because like my mom has it like right now and stuff too. And I'm like, dude, it's getting close,
I hope she's okay.
She's okay. She's like boosted and everything. She's just like,
good.
She just has like a cold pretty much symptoms, And it kind of like, she's kind of just like really tired and stuff.
And that's what I was saying. I was like, look, if you got the vaccines and you got boosted and you did everything that you were supposed to do you have to cancel 10 shows in a row and like be totally screwed? Yeah, I don't know.
It's like messed up too, because it's like, it's like I feel like a lot of people in like the music community at least are like trying to take all the precautions and then they get fucked and then they still suffer. You know what I'm saying? It's like a bummer.
I mean, like I saw Mary Lattimore, speaking of LA people, Mary Lattimore caught COVID, because she was on a flight that people weren't masked on. And then she like, she made a post too that was just like, I've been like staring off into space for like multiple hours today. Like, is this just what life is like now? Like, is this what COVID is now?
And that reminds me, I'd gone out to Big Ears and I saw her, and 9 out of 10 people at Big Ears were not wearing masks. Yeah. I wore a mask religiously through that, and still I run into people who sent me promo and stuff not wearing masks. I was like, what?
I know, it's kind of wild, right?
No, it was so nuts. And like I had a couple of friends down there, and they were giving me like live updates, and were just like, like no one's wearing them down here. And I was like, you would think at the premiere, like, like I'm compassionate, but I'm also intellectual. Like, and I love Big Ears. I'm not talking shit, but like just imagining the type of people who go to that festival.
Yeah, see, that's what I think is
the year that I went. I was just like, you would think that maybe they would be the ones to just be like, hey, it's not a big deal for me to wear a mask.
Yeah.
For 1 hour, and then I'm gonna like be able to walk outside and go to like a different venue, so I'll just take it off then. Yeah.
Great stuff. Love it. You love to hate it. Although record shops still very safe. I'm gonna be honest, every record shop I've been in, it's bros wearing masks around the counter.
That's great.
So we played in Nashville at the beginning of June. Didn't see a single person in the entire city wearing a mask at all until we went to fucking Grimey's.
Oh wow!
And everyone. I mean, there were like a couple, bros like in the stacks, but like all the employees, like most of the customers, everyone wearing like, and not just like like the little like surgical masks, like everyone's wearing KN95. So
oh wow, yeah,
sick. Like
that's
this
sick.
is cool.
And also,
People care.
like, shout out to Third Man Records because the entire staff there was wearing masks when we showed up.
Oh, that's tight.
For us.
Like for us.
Oh,
And
really?
then-
That's sick.
Yeah, which was psycho.
Because
We-
they didn't
we-
know. And they were like, well, just in case like you don't feel comfortable, like we're all gonna do this. And then we told them, we're like, well, look, we trust you to not be here, like if you have it. And they were
Yeah.
like, no, we don't. Like we test regularly still.
Yeah, so
Oh,
like in
that's
the
sick.
back rooms and stuff, I was just like, yeah, don't worry about it. It's
Yeah.
fine. It's cool. But
Yeah.
But like
I
they were
appreciate the
really-
effort.
Yeah, they were really cool about it. They were really cool in general, actually. So shout out to all of the staff of the Third Band in Nashville. Like
Yeah.
they were the nicest people on the planet. Yeah, it
Yeah.
was great.
they
That's-
treated
Shout
us
out to
like
Third Man
gods.
Records.
That's honestly sick, dude. Wait, so did you guys do like a session there or something? Like,
We
We
just
did
played
a
a show.
Yeah,
Oh,
we
okay,
played
okay.
with well, and the best part was that they hit us up. They didn't realize that we had canceled our tour and that was going to be our last stop as a long shot. We were
Mhm.
like, maybe we can play a Third Man. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh,
But they actually hit us up after we had canceled. But we're like, hey, if you want to still play the show, and we were like, maybe we could travel down. And I was like, but I had this guy in mind to open, like support us and maybe also jam with us. Like one of my like recent personal like musical idols, JP Montgomery.
oh, nice.
So JP like he
Montgomery.
played a set and then we played and then we jammed like the three of us. So it was like this totally magical night. And they just they didn't like force, some like opening act on us. They were like, yeah, whoever you want, it's cool. And it was a Friday night.
Dude, that's sick.
Like us playing a Friday night headline.
Yeah,
show.
they
Wow.
definitely they
It's so
definitely lost
insane.
money, but didn't care, and it was
Yeah.
totally chill.
Yeah.
the new Jack White album has made all that back. It's okay.
Yeah, I'm sure that's true. Sorry, Jack. I haven't
not-
listened yet, but
I am not talking shit on Jack White. The way that we were treated at that was like so bizarre and psycho to me, and like
and beautiful. Like
Yeah.
I am led to believe now fully that he truly cares that people are treated well when they come to play like his venue.
Dude, that's sick.
I agree.
super cool.
So was
I will never talk shit on Jack White again. Not only after this, but after listening to his new really weirdly good album. It's really weird,
This
but
is
it
what I've
works.
heard. I mean, I heard like a song off of it, and I was like, "This is a man who is bored and doing exactly what he wants to do to alleviate
Yes.
that boredom." And
But-
I respect that fully. So good.
Did you guys- oh, sorry, go ahead.
Or no, just this will seg into, I think, a topic I want to get into, but someone purchase requested it at my library. And then
Yeah.
I checked it out to them and I was like, I have this on hold too. A week later, he comes back and it's like a man in his 40s or 50s who religiously checks out CDs at the library.
Oh, I have
Mm.
those regulars
Yeah.
too. I keep forgetting you work at a library too.
That's-
Yeah. Those are
and
my
it's-
favorites.
They are my favorites too, because it's like, I don't quite know what your mentality is here, what you're doing. Are you ripping them? Are you going like on, traveling across the US and you're listening? But it's like a guy in his 40s or 50s and is like, this album rocks. And that's the only review I needed on the album, was a guy in his 40s telling me, dudes rock.
That's
that's
sick.
amazing.
That's honestly sick.
I love it.
I guess that would lead me into my next thing here. Last night, I had gone on WorldCat and I was looking at some ILL stuff. Because I just realized, well, yeah, we do. When you work in a library and you work at like a clerk level or stuff, you begin to see and really take note of this. And we get ILL for people getting vinyl or CDs. And let's say I wanted to get a CD of Claire Rosé's A Softer Focus.
Mhm.
There are 14 libraries in the United States that have it. Two of
Mine's
which are-
one. Thanks
Yep.
to me. I ordered it.
Dude, that's sick.
two
Yeah.
of which are in Ohio. And Jen, as someone who works in a library, but also I think sees that, what to you is that importance of library music? Why should we be going all out and purchase requesting titles from libraries? Why should we
Oh
be
my
doing
god.
this?
Well, for instance, like here I am talking with you two like across the country because you like our music, and like I got into music, I mean, from childhood, sure, but when I was like 13, 14, like I went to my local library to check out CDs, and like that's how I got into like Radiohead and like,
oh my God.
Yeah, of course. And so many other things and books too. Like I'm always like suggesting purchases on books, but like the music, like it's so important and maybe it's different now because I know a lot of kids like get their music differently, like through streaming or like, hearing stuff on Stranger Things, for instance, which I'm super pro, like the Kate Bush.
Dude, sick.
Now.
Also,
I'm like, dude, like, don't be mad about it. It's cool.
Master of Puppets too. That shit rips. I'm just gonna say.
Oh yeah, they did that too. Yeah. So, but I still feel like they're gonna be the nerdy, like academic types.
Yeah.
Well, that's not a fair term because I hate that shit. But they're going to be the nerdy, like completist types who aren't afraid of just marching into the library and being like, what can I mine from this trove?
Yeah.
And that was like me. And like, I mean, I also got into the same time I got into Radiohead. I got into, there's an album that came out in 2002 from Bela Fleck, who's like, that's super not cool, obviously. But it was with Edgar Meyer and Mike Marshall, Uncommon Ritual. And like, I checked it out from the library and it like blew my mind. It was so good. And like that, and I went to the library to find that because where else was I going to find it? Like my parents' friends weren't listening to that. Like I never would have picked it up in a record shop because it didn't look cool. But I'm at the library. I have nothing to prove.
Yeah.
No one's really paying attention to what I'm checking out. So I can just take whatever I want. And if I don't like it, I didn't pay anything. I can just take it back again. Like I got into Joni Mitchell and like Fred Neil because of the library and Holy Modal Rounders. Like, yeah, the library is so important. And that's why I'm always trying to get like deep catalog stuff. And even if, at my library, it's all circulation based. So if it doesn't circulate for like a certain amount of time, it goes out again. But like maybe I reached like 5 people in that like first 2 years.
No, and that's the thing. It's just like, and it feels really good when you see something like our library randomly has 3 Spaceman 3 titles. And some of them are the Bomp CDs that aren't on streaming. And I'm like, I was like, what? We have music to take drugs to? Like, who is getting this? Or seeing the Smithsonian Anthology of Folk, which I had finally read this Amanda Patricia's book on 78 RPMs and being like, this is $100 on Discogs and I could just rent it. Or I don't know. It's like, you're just like, hey, can I get a Deftones CD? And it's just going to be there. And I'm like, this rules. And not having to go to a record shop and like debate spending $5 or $10. So I've become increasingly pro library music.
I honestly never knew that.
Totally. And I will teach people, anyone who comes in who's like, hey, and they're basically trying to tell me like covertly that they want to learn how to like rip music like illegally and take it home. I am totally, I'm leaving the library in like a week and a day. So I can say this now. I feel I am totally pro pirating. And I will teach anyone who comes in is like, hey, I just want this music, but like, I can't afford to go buy it. Like, I just want it in my life. And I'm like, I will show you the way, man. It's cool. Windows Media Player, like I'll even give you a blank CD. You can just burn this.
Yeah.
If not, like I can show you how to rip music like into music files that just exist on your computer.
Let's just say that this week's show that I'm doing, which is all back, it's the top or the back 50 of the quietest top 100 from this year. That was gotten through SoulSeek. Very quickly hashed together. It's like, what can we find? And oh my God, the ability to sample in that capacity.
I mean, the one quick thing I'll say about libraries is that I've always gotten music out of libraries, but the way that I grew up and what I was listening to as a kid and like, skateboarding and being like a piece of shit or whatever was like, like it was like Hellcat Records, like give them the boot shit and stuff like that. And then when I was like 14 or 15, I went to a library and I took out a copy of The Argument by Fugazi.
Oh, there you go.
And like that's literally where I found that band. And like that I was like, oh wow, everything I've listened to up to this point that I consider to be punk is actually like total trash bullshit garbage. And then that immediately led me to like television and like the like Slanted and Enchanted and shit like that, and My Bloody Valentine, and then everyone that I grew up with was like, wow, you're an insufferable prick now because I don't know you listen to any of this stuff. And I was like, it's good. Just listen to it,
Go to the library, man. You'll understand.
The library saved my life, man. I'd still be like playing like ska or something right now.
Hey.
My first band, I played trombone in a ska band.
That's so sick.
Yeah.
That's honestly really cool.
Still play trombone?
Yeah, can you still play trombone?
I have the original trombone sitting right over in the room.
Dude, you should throw some.
Play it anymore.
Yeah, I can't play it anymore.
It's calluses you get around your mouth.
Oh, I see.
I mean, no. So here's the thing: I can play it, but I can only play it for about 20 minutes, and then it looks like I got punched in the fucking mouth. Like,
shout! I'm looking forward though to the new Power Rolin ska, the huge breakaway.
Yeah, it's like fourth wave.
Yeah, fourth wave.
We'll go back to piano. We'll go back to our childhood instruments and let loose. Yeah.
You guys are making me want to go to my local library and check out the music section because I've never thought to do that until Maddie got a job at a library.
Oh, I mean, you will.
Should.
You'll
also,
be shocked.
You might be disappointed because our music section now, despite what I suggest ordering every now and then, and I only know that because one of my coworkers actually gave me the link to see the main distributor that we buy CDs from, which is still our main thing that we do for some reason. But yeah, American Dreams happened to be the label on it. I haven't even ordered our American Dreams release for the library, but I was like, Claire and Devin Schaefer, let's get this in here.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it's still a very sad collection. But if you do, whatever the consortiums are, whether it's interlibrary loan, which is a national thing, or, I'm sure that California has numerous consortiums or interlibrary, within the state.
San Diego system, we've got 2 different libraries in the county, giant systems, and one of which I have just been able, I'm like, okay, what do you have? And I'll search an artist and it's I need some odd techer. And
dude, that's crazy.
Session and compute, and I'm like, that's perfect.
And that's for me, I order everything from either Cincinnati Public, Cuyahoga County, or Bowling Green. They don't really circulate a lot, but when they do, it's perfect.
Yeah.
So there are 2 or 3 different library systems that I just always pull things in from. I have an Albert Eiler gigantic box set that goes for $300 on Discogs, but there's a library in Ohio that circulates that, the Holy Ghost box.
Also,
it's amazing.
It's Albert Eiler's birthday.
Oh, yeah.
I saw.
Is it really? That's crazy.
I'm lucky enough to be from the same city as Albert Eiler. So
yeah, that's legendary.
Shout out Albert Eiler.
Albert Eiler.
Yeah, dude, that's sick.
Yeah.
I took Jen to his grave one of the last times we were in Cleveland.
Dude, Albert Eiler was one of the first experimental, I guess, musicians I've really listened to. When I dove into
amazing.
I dove into the ESP catalog.
Yeah.
How old were you?
I was actually 21 maybe.
Yeah, that's around the time that I got truly deep. Yeah.
Yeah, it was interesting because I had just really I was into DIY and indie stuff, but I had just gotten exposed to noise music from some friends in radio that I had just met. And I was like, this is insane. I didn't know that people listen to this this type of stuff, and then I just started deep diving and I found ESP and I was like, wow, these people have been doing weird stuff forever,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, pretty much no one even now cares about Albert Eiler in Cleveland, except for the old, Emerald's me crew, I guess. But
well, Jason, I mean,
there's tons of people that care about him now for sure. But the general public does not give a shit.
Which is unfortunate.
His grave definitely shows that because it's just tiny and sad.
It's this little rectangle, and he's in the veterans section. It's that's what he's known for.
There's a
fighting.
He was a veteran. That's insane. I didn't know that actually.
There's an amazing photo. I can't remember who took it, but there's an amazing photo of KG Hino placing roses on his
oh, dude, that's sick.
Grave.
Yeah, it was whoever was touring with him at the time took a photo, and he's just kneeled down, looking super hard and intimidating, he always does. in sunglasses, of course, on like a cloudy day, and there's like this beautiful like single red rose on the grave, and I'm like, that's like my favorite photo
Yeah,
ever.
that's amazing.
Oh,
It's so good.
my goodness. Just at this moment, work-life balance-wise, in between moving, where does that stand? Have there been any kind of, how do you balance that? And then are there any ideas recording-wise that have been coming to fruition in between?
Well, I'm quitting my job. I gave like 6 weeks notice. My last day is Thursday, the 21st. I don't have my next job lined up, although I have a couple like very savvy and successful friends who do remote work who are helping me like find the right corporate speak to like make my resume look really good. So I'm going to go into that, but like I'm basically checked out. No pun intended, being with like library stuff, but I'm still helping people, but like I'm over it. So I actually feel pretty good.
I don't know. I'm just trying to get as much money as I can before we leave here. But I'm probably still going to be done by the 25th, which is when we're going to start moving down there. I work for like a guy, but not even really. Like I only see him like once a month at most. And all of my stuff is like 1099 self-employed work kind of. So that's fine and not a big deal. And more importantly, like, we're just going to get this move done. It'll be chill when it's done. And I have a new record coming out in October, which isn't announced yet. But will be at the beginning of August, like right after we move. Jen and I have been working with someone on the West Coast who we love dearly, but have been really dragging on our feet on it because of this move and just everything in general, I guess. So we're going to try to finish like our last few submissions for it in the next like week or two before we get out of town.
Hopefully there will be a CD coming out with someone who we can't name yet, who lives on the West Coast. They're really amazing.
You definitely know them, but we can't.
Do they like this beer?
Yeah.
Do they enjoy this beer?
Maybe. I don't know.
I think they drink beers, but I don't want to like put words in their mouth. So I don't know.
I don't really know. But
that was the only teaser I was going to give.
I feel like we can say though, on Matt's birthday weekend, which was June 26th, we went up to Cleveland and we hung out with our dear pal Jason and bandmate Jason Garish, and we recorded like a ton of new stuff that actually felt like really amazing. We also recorded like down here at our house
a year ago
in May of last year, and it was good, but we just sat on it like nothing has really happened. But the stuff we recorded like a couple weeks ago was really feeling great. So there will be at least a new trio album coming out, well, God knows how long from now.
At some point.
That's sick.
We want it to be an actual record, and we don't even know like how we're going to put that out through who, but
we got to talk to Jason there the night before he got robbed. Literally.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that
and
was
then
true.
He invited us. We both went and saw Cloud Nothings.
Oh yeah, it was sick, dude. So nice of him.
A six-pack.
Oh,
I think
in Santa Barbara.
He played in LA, and then Maddie saw him in San Diego.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah.
Rules.
And it was with hot. Oh God, what was it? It's Rosalia's trio.
Long
Hots. Long Hots.
Yeah.
So fucking thrilled to see Long Hots.
Yeah.
Long Hots is amazing.
I've wanted to get Friday Night Raw for ages on cassette, and I even asked her, I'm like, you gonna do another pressing? They want to get it on vinyl. I'm like, no, just do a tape. But I don't. Oh my God, Jason shocks us. I hope something comes of that on Unifactor.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
It's so great to hear you've all been recording again like that. Oh goodness.
I mean, I don't know. I don't want to speak for Jen or Jason, but like I was very, very stoked about all the stuff that we recorded.
No, me too. And Jason was too. Like it it was very encouraging that we were all equally excited about what we did. I actually feel like it went into new territory for all of us, which is pretty rare. But we all pushed ourselves in different ways, and like it will definitely be coming out one way or another, and it'll be a big deal.
I feel like we definitely have there's a song on it that I think might be like the most well-constructed pop song that we've done.
I love pop music.
AKA like pretty and just like catchy sort of. But then there's also like,
we actually did a great job.
There's also like a really, really psychotic like improv where I'm playing electric guitar that it sounds like side B of like April is the cruelest month or something, but like with Jen playing like pretty dulcimer over it. And like,
God, I don't know. I hope it's half that good.
It was like extremely fried, but we both felt pretty good about it. So,
and Jason was stoked too, which is always a good sign, like that all three of us are on the same wavelength. So that will definitely be coming out. We also want to do another duo album, obviously. We're
gonna work on that this after this move.
But yeah, we decided like earlier this year when we were talking seriously about moving initially, in May, we were just like, we're gonna save it. It can be like a while before something else comes out, but we will do a proper duo thing. And we're probably gonna, this is not official yet, but we're hoping to maybe record with our friend Lisa again, who recorded our first LP.
Oh, nice.
Like the self-titled on Feeding Tube. Because we'll be living a lot closer to her.
Oh, sick.
So hopefully, we've mentioned it to her, and hopefully she'll record the next true duo album. But who knows, man? We don't have material for it yet.
And then I do have a new solo record that I recorded last August.
Yeah.
That is coming out in October of this year.
Yeah.
But it was recorded last August.
And two things. Could we know the label it's coming out on?
Oh, the solo record? Yeah, I'll just tell you whatever. I don't care right now. I don't think they're going to give a shit. So the record, it's coming out on American Dreams again from Chicago.
Hell yeah, that's sick.
Yeah.
Jordan, crew, shout out. Love you guys.
Yeah, shout out.
Local legend.
For sure.
But yeah, it's I recorded it in Philadelphia at the beginning of August last year with Jeff Ziegler, who did like all the
I have his tape. Yes.
We're on drugs and Kurt Vile records and stuff.
Dude,
but he's
that's
also
wild.
sick.
Yep. I have where is it? Jeff Ziegler and Dash Lewis, Eraserhood.
Oh yeah. Dash is the best.
Dash is amazing.
Dash Lewis is
just
really good.
wrote a piece on this for Tabs Out that'll hopefully come out. I was fucking shocked by this. There's some Cocteau Twins ass shit on this. There's some Deer Hunter shit on this.
It's so good. And Dash,
they rule.
Dash also, he did reach out to us a long time ago about maybe collaborating, and like we haven't made it happen yet because we had a lot of other stuff on our plate. But like, I want to say publicly that I hope someday we can actually like do an album with him, because he's just one of those people who's like, he's so amazingly tasteful and like creative, but like tasteful. Like he's so good.
Yeah.
I love that.
I got to give a shout out to Dash. I saw you put up on Twitter. He's like, I need a bike repair. I have a brother who lives in Richmond who rode his bike religiously and did work. And I was like, okay, I get that. And he sent me 3 of those tapes, and I'm going through them, and I'm like, these are all phenomenal and wildly different.
Yeah.
Like, huge versatility, but Eraserhood, which had been, because when I started looking at Atlantic Rhythms January of last year, I was like, oh, my God, this is a great label.
Atlantic Rhythms is one of my favorite.
Good.
Yeah.
Jeff is also like a totally amazing person who is a great musician on his own right, and like is responsible for so many crazy recordings in this like bizarre warehouse now.
Yeah.
He has great gear. He has a dog named Terry who's like the chillest dude of all time. And if you like do a good take, the dog will sorry, he's not just a dog. His name's Terry. He will literally stand up and like clap at you.
Dude,
when you're
that
done.
is so
like,
wild.
If you do a good take.
Matt sent me a video, like, because I I was actually just gonna go crash the party and be like, the typical like wife in the recording studio, just like hanging out, having fun. But I had to work that weekend, so I couldn't go up to Philly. So I was like, all right, well, tell Jeff I say hi, like it'll be fine. But Matt sent me a video, and it was like Terry up on his little hind legs, just like clapping.
That's so wild.
What's happening up there? This is so amazing.
So it was a great experience, because I mean, prior to that, other than recording with Lisa Belladonna for our first record, like her home studio, everything else that we've ever done has been recorded by me here, like in our home.
Yeah.
So going to another city instead of like 45 minutes away, and then like looking at like gold records of like the War on Drugs hanging on the wall and shit.
Oh
like,
my
God. It was very weird and surreal. And like Jeff, I did not know him prior to me going to record this stuff with him. But we had talked online a bunch. And yeah, going between like the gold records and like all this crazy gear, and then like going outside to like smoke a cigarette, and there's like a bunch of like junkies like passed out on the sidewalk because it's Philly,
like sleeping standing up style, like very bleak.
It was really weird.
Yeah,
but we got the and I hope those people are okay. Jesus Christ, but
probably not. But yeah,
my gosh,
got the whole record done in like a week.
That's cool.
Oh no, sorry, a weekend, like literally like a day and a half.
That's sick. That's even better. Yeah, that's cool.
I just got my Slave ambient tape. I just pulled it out on the liner notes. It says produced by Jeff Ziegler. Never done that. Holy crap. I love
the modern Philly sound, like Kurt Vile and like even Rosalie, Trouble Anyway, like he recorded all of that. Like the modern Philly sound that's like sort of a throwback to like Tom Petty and all of that, like that's Jeff recording people, making them sound incredible.
Dude, yeah, my new record has a bunch of clean guitar with phaser all over it because I recorded with Jeff.
Yeah,
that's not true, but there is guitar and there is tremolo on one track, and it's really good.
Yeah, but the tremolo is
very subtle.
That's not Philly. That's Columbus.
But it still sounds really good.
Yeah. You gonna have a Perry Ubu or a shoegaze phase here, Matt? Or you bet?
I feel like I keep getting compared to like Aquarium Drunkard always calls me like acoustic Kevin Shields, and like
electroacoustic even.
And like honestly, oh, don't get me started on that. But anyways, like
caricature boy Kevin.
We have that too.
Yeah,
that's sick.
Yeah. But that's the highest compliment of all time to me, because I love Kevin Shields, and I think he might be the most important guitar player to me personally as a person. So I will gladly take anytime any critic that is sick wants to call me Kevin Shields, they are more than welcome to do that. That's fun. Like,
however, we just heard that in the last 24 hours, you've become a huge electroacoustic zealot.
That is true.
Yeah. What does that mean? Like, what does that mean? I just saw you post like a meme with like a plug or something. Like,
that was about 2 hours ago.
Okay.
I was really excited. But I didn't realize that there was damage control to do, and that Matt didn't know the term. Like, I only knew it because like I'm very nerdy in my approach to learning about music sometimes. So like electroacoustic for me, like I remember being like, in like my early 20s and like getting into like Harry Parch and like, even like Terry Riley arguably could be considered, with the saxophone work, like electroacoustic. So I was just like, well, it's just like, you play an acoustic instrument, but you manipulate it with electronic effects. And like, I also like, I hate like academic shit. So I've always strayed away from the term. But yeah, like Matt like saw it on the thread last night and was just like, what the fuck is this? And I was just like, it's just this thing. And yeah, it kind of sucks, but like it's not that bad.
People have been making like joke memes about it for like a week or two. And I was just like, I've never heard this term before. And honestly, like we went to go see our friends from New York City play here last night, and it was sick. And then I saw another electroacoustic meme like when I got home, and I was like, what the fuck does this even mean? So like I just started like cracking jokes about it because I had like clearly had like 3 or 4 beers at this gig, and then like and then someone was like, my dude, you literally play electroacoustic music. And I was like, oh, like, that's cool. God, so all right, sorry. Whatever.
And I was like, it's true though. And actually on your thread where you're like, what does this even mean? Like, of course, Christina Carter being the fucking goddess she is, like gave this like totally sincere and like completely accurate response. And I was like, listen to her. Like she actually like, this is exactly what it is.
I was also just kidding. And I had like 4 beers at a concert and then came home.
Also, to be fair, like, Claire Rousset had the best response.
Oh my God.
It was like, it's kind of like being bisexual. And I was like, oh my God, it's so true.
I did like that one quite a bit.
It's so good.
I was just in it just to be like, hell, I don't know. I felt when Jordan posted, I'm like, yeah, I have been there drinking beers at night also. Well, because Jordan doesn't drink. Listening to Nirvana's In Utero. Just packaging it.
I did play In Utero very loud.
Yeah, we actually went on
typing
to do that,
all that stuff
and
out.
we spent like an hour like just talking at each other, being like, "This album's fucking genius. It's perfect." We're like, yeah, but like it is perfect. And I was like, yeah, bro, but it is perfect. Like over and over. Yeah, we had a really good time with In Utero last night.
We got lunch with the Weak Signal crew this, like, I guess late morning, and they were like, yeah, let's talk about electroacoustic music, you know. And we all just agreed that that talking about music is stupid and bad and no one should ever do it, basically.
Oh no, we're gonna
I'm spend all of our time. Like right now, we should spend all of our time doing it.
Yeah, right.
It's both the dumbest thing and the best thing we could do. So.
Sometime next summer, we have plotted it out. A group of people I rank albums with online. We're gonna rank the 1994 Grammy nominees for Best Alternative Album.
Wow.
And In Utero is one of the albums
sick.
alongside U2's Zooropa. And we're thrilled for U2's Zooropa.
That's dope, honestly.
I mean, what's going to be better than
In Utero? Like,
that's the thing, though.
Well, at least the Grammy nominated ones. Like, what would be better than that? What are the other options other than Zooropa?
Oh well, okay. So there's Belly Star, which I think is really undervalued, but it's the weakest album there. You've got Smashing Pumpkins' Siamese Dream.
Okay.
Also perfect, but also I'd rather have In Utero. And then you have Automatic for the People, which is like
also a perfect record.
It's gonna make me tear the fuck up every time. Last time I listened to that, I bawled. Goodness, it's perfect. I love REM to death, and we like as a group, you're like, we have to do this. We have to rank these 5 albums. I had tried to fight us when we had done grunge. I'm like, we need to do In Utero. We shouldn't do Nevermind. In Utero is a better album. They're like, no, we have to do Nevermind. It's important.
No, In Utero is the best. Like I said last night,
Nevermind's
we were talking about like because even listening to In Utero is like, man, it's like hit after hit. And Matt's like, yeah, but like Nevermind is even more insane with that. And I was like, yeah, but what's better? In Utero, like that was the one that I went to MGM Music, you know, when I was like 12 and like bought the CD of for like $3.99. Cool. Like In Utero, that's it's so important.
In Utero, I don't know. I mean, it's like I grew up playing Guitar Hero, and so also Heart Shaped Box. I mean, just if you live in San Diego, you're gonna learn Nirvana without even trying.
Oh, same in Columbus, Ohio. I promise. Like it's the thing.
I mean, like when I was in middle school in like 1996, there was like dudes with like airbrushed like R.I.P. Kurt Cobain shirts and shit everywhere in Cleveland, Ohio.
That's
it's
wild.
like, it's a universal thing.
Yeah. Nevermind rules, but then In Utero, it's like Heart Shaped Box. Always, I'm like, this is the best pop track they had done, just dead stop. And then you get the record selling Unit Shifter song. Goodness.
Yeah, radio friendly Unit Shifter.
Oh my God. And it's just like, why
But even like All Apologies is like also a perfect pop song, and that's when you realize that Nirvana is just like the sinister version of the Zombies. Like that's all they are. Fucking perfect pop bands, but they're just more dissonant. Like they're going even farther out than the Zombies did with their weird chord progressions and harmonies. Like,
and the next album would have just been automatic for the people had he been able to do it. If he could have got on that plane to get to Michael Stipe, it would have probably been goodness.
In Utero was one of the first CDs that I ripped to my computer when I was a little kid.
Oh, that rules.
Yeah, I found my dad's like CD collection at one point, and he had In Utero. The ones I listened to most was like In Utero, Nevermind, and then some Guns N' Roses CD. But I used to like fuck with that so hard because like I got like a computer and I was just burning all these CDs. Yeah, it was sick.
Dude, I was
I
was like 9 on some bad church retreat that I had to go to that like my parents forced me into. And one of like the fellow altar boys who like used to like sometimes like try to fight me and stuff like that had a copy of In Utero on this retreat, and we had to like hide listening to it. And that was like the first time I heard it. And I was like, wow. I was like, now I believe in Satan, baby. Thank you so much. You know,
dude, I actually have like a crazy story about that too, that my dad was telling me. So I guess like the CDs that I found almost got like burned or like thrown away or something by like a crazy aunt that was like extremely Christian. And so my dad let my cousin borrow like all of his CDs, you know, when he was like younger or whatever. And then I guess my aunt found out and was like, no, like you can't listen to this. This is like, yeah. And she was like super like hardcore, like conservative Christian, I guess you could say. Yeah. And my dad almost lost all those CDs, but I guess he got them back somehow.
I grew up in that Detroit Rock City moment for sure. Where
also like my like high school boyfriend, I remember like he had stories of like his parents told him about like, you know, there's Simon and Garfunkel records or whatever. And like, you know, the 60s and 70s almost got burned by their parents. And they were telling him like trying to be like, you know, like camaraderie. But then in turn, they like found his like Radiohead and like Sigur Rós CDs and we're like,
not the Sigur Rós.
We're just gonna destroy these.
Those Icelandic motherfuckers.
And,
like, they got an alien baby on the cover.
And then they were just gonna turn around and like try to destroy his CDs. And he was like, you literally just got done telling me about like your parents destroying like Simon and Garfunkel. Like it's Sigur Rós, man. They're literally just singing about like, you know, volcanic mountainsides. Like it's not a big deal. Like it's fine.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Luckily I don't know. My parents like corrupted me to shit from when I was growing up. Oh yeah, I know.
I love that actually.
But yeah, like my folks, I don't know. I grew up listening to like you know, Flying Burrito Brothers and the Byrds and like Crosby, Stills and Nash and like Buffalo Springfield and all of the Laurel Canyon shit, you know, like they were super into it. So yeah, I was doomed from the beginning. Chicago too. My dad liked good Chicago, like first 3 albums. He was like, yeah, it's great. It's cool.
Dude, Chicago is cool. I remember there's this one record where they have like a straight like free jazz like noise song on there.
Yeah, that's the first one.
Okay, that's the first one.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Someone.
It's the guitar song. It's called like guitar noise or something.
Yeah, and
really literal.
That's like also got like 25/6/4 or whatever on it.
Yeah.
Oh wait,
that's the second
Chicago
one. Okay.
Fancy Colors and 25/6/4 is second album, which I will never forget. It's the one with like the bluish gray white cover. Fucking fantastic. Fancy Colors changed my life. And I remember there was a skip on it right at the wad out guitar part. So it was just like wow, 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 over and over and over again. And sometimes I would just let it play. And I should have known. Me, like little 6-year-old Jen, letting that loop play endlessly. I was like, I should have known someday I would get into like Arendelle.
Yeah.
We're told so much. Yeah.
Yeah, that's sick.
So good.
I
love Chicago.
I worked at like a combo record store / mostly coffee shop. for a while in Cleveland, but it was always like one day a week, and it was right around the corner from my place. So I just got free coffee like all week. And they were like they got weird at some point about what we could play and what we couldn't play.
Mm-hmm.
And so I played that side B of that first Chicago record one morning. And then like the dude that was like getting all weird about stuff came in and he was like, "What are you playing right now?" And like everyone that was in there was like yuppie dudes that were like trying to like talk about like how much like Edison bulbs are for like a fucking place that makes like burgers and shit. And I was like, "Oh, it's Chicago, dude."
Right. Yeah.
And like all these people
like, what?
they're like, they're like, "This Chicago?" And I'm like, "Yeah, you know,
this isn't a cutoff of Chicago 14.
Yeah. Every once in a while, it's good to do stupid shit like that. And I appreciate them for making that completely psychotic song and putting it on their first record.
Yeah, dude, it's insane. Like when I first discovered that, I was kind of just like, what the fuck is like going on here?
Yeah.
This is like so wild. And I didn't appreciate it until like later. Yeah.
And so bold. Like the first album ever. I mean, number one, to make your first album ever a double record.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
oh my
I mean,
God.
even in the 60s, like that's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Like, oh man, I respect them so much for it. I actually think when I was in a crazy mood the other night and was like tearing shit out of our like like record shelves, being like, I'm gonna sell this, it'll be easy to get it back. And I think I pulled out the first Chicago record and I think I'm gonna go find it in the stacks tonight and like put it back on the shelf because I can't part with it, even if it's easy to get again. Like that album's so perfect.
Yeah.
Oh.
I think we wanted to talk about Elden Ring.
Oh, baby.
Before we finally get into talking about Astral Editions, we need to, speaking of Sigur Rós volcanic mountains and such.
Yeah, this is a thoroughly productive talk we're having here right now.
It's very cathartic. Thank you. I hope someone on Earth besides the four of us enjoys this. Sometime.
It's just like Thomas and I just got an Xbox One and I just found out about game sales, so I bought the first two time splitters for $250 a piece. But I can't play Elden Ring, but I've loved watching people on experimental music Twitter get enamored and go ape shit From Software's latest variation on the Dark Souls theme.
I've played.
You've played all of them now.
Almost all of them, yeah. So I went from being like I didn't play video games for a long time, and then in 2020, in the pandemic, like end of summer, we bought a PS4 because we were like, well, we're never going anywhere, and we're both huge nerds, so like let's just do this. That's fine.
Yeah.
And I got Bloodborne for like $10 or something, like when it first came out. And I tried to play it and I was like, holy shit, this game is really hard. And it sucks and I hate it. Why does anyone like this game?
Yeah.
You know? So I kind of gave up on it. And then like a year later, I was like, I was like losing sleep at night. I was like, I'm not going to let this game beat me. There's no way I cannot just play this game. And so I really just bashed my head into it for a while, and then it clicked. And now it might be my favorite game of all time. And I totally just destroyed it eventually.
Yeah.
Right before Elden Ring came out. And then I got Elden Ring.
So which one was it? You were saying this one was Bloodborne that you got super into?
Bloodborne was the one that got me into it.
Okay.
And kind of broke me back into the don't be a little baby, video games are hard mindset.
Okay, yeah.
Get good mindset.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like what they keep saying. I think that's like annoying, and it's like that's not helpful. You know, like there are clear strategies for a lot of things in these games, and if you just say get good to someone, you're just a douchebag, in my opinion. But,
there's a great 5-hour video of a critic who never thought he'd play Dark Souls, and then he did an Elden Ring follow-up, and he breaks down the get good mindset and calls it into question.
Elden Ring, I think, it gets harder than Bloodborne, which is hard. But I do think that maybe like because it came out like in early March, and this is like coming out of the tail end of like Omicron and like no one doing anything.
Yeah.
That I just really like went totally psycho on it. And
well, you were also totally ready for it at that point.
Well, yeah.
I feel like, yeah. And
this is really important. I'm so glad we're talking about
yeah,
this.
well, I started playing it. I mean, Matt has been talking about fucking From Software incessantly, including like especially when Elden Ring came out. Like it was then like every night, like I would just have to do like the patient, like, yeah, this is really cool. Yeah, I believe in you. You can do this. But he also like he was very vehement about like, I know you're going to get into this. Like you are enough like me in like, you know, disposition, like you will get into this. And I was like, I'm not a skilled video game player, like whatever. But like, yeah, I probably will because it's like, you know, fantasy shit. And that's like my ultimate thing. Like I love, you know, fantasy novels, like RPGs, whatever. I was like, yeah, it's open world. And like I had gotten more into open world and like combat facing things through like Horizon on PS4. Also, my favorite video game of all time. I just want to go on record as saying my favorite video game of all time is Elder Scrolls 4, like Oblivion.
Sick,
my God. Yep.
Yeah. That's my favorite. Closely followed by Chrono Trigger on SNES.
Never played it.
Oh my God, you have to just get an emulator. That's the only way I can get it. Just do it. It's the best game. Like, oh God, it's so good.
What's it called?
And just read the guides because
Chrono Trigger.
Chrono Trigger? I've never heard of it.
I've known about Chrono Trigger since like 2008 when Game Informer would write about it. And it was like, there's no way this would ever, you know, get like ported to another system. Like, there's no way I'll ever be able to like afford to buy a PS1 to play it.
No, man, just get SNES for your fucking like PC. Free. Like, it's fine. Just get it. And play it. Oh God, it's so good. But anyway, so
you're right.
I went through all of that, and but I did start playing Elden Ring a couple weeks ago. And of course, I was like, Matt, like you ruined me right before we moved. Like I'm supposed to be packing, and instead I'm like trying to beat Renala, Queen of the Full Moon. And I like get it. I tried to fight Radon the other day, and like it was like, I'm not ready for this. I can't. I got to be like totally like clear-eyed, like first thing in the morning. Got to do it. Maybe level up some more. I don't know. It's a lot. But Elden Ring's amazing. I really love it so far. And I've barely had to look anything up, but Matt has guided me a lot to be like, hey, like I'm gonna get you this specific like staff.
Yeah.
Specific spell, and it will make things easier. Like I'm an astrologer, like caster in it, because apparently that's easy mode. And I'm like, well, that's great, because I always go for like casters or like ranged, like hunter, occasionally like stealth, like rogue. Like those are my three preferred zones. Oh yeah, I'm a giant nerd for like RPG and fantasy shit. I can't help it.
Did you ever get into any of the Zelda series at all?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I grew up playing I remember in high school I like to say that I played through most of Ocarina of Time. But really it was like my boyfriend at the time. Like he helped me through most of that because he had already beaten it, but then he couldn't remember where the golden gauntlets were, so I couldn't finish it. Like I only got halfway through like all of the Ganondorf fights you do at the end, like with all the portraits. But I mean, I played like Wind Waker and Twilight Princess.
Did you never finish
I tried
Twilight
Majora's.
Princess?
Yeah, I'm also really bad about finishing
right
things. I get like 3/4 of the way through most things, and then I'm just like,
that's how I am too, actually. I've never finished Twilight Princess either, actually. But I got pretty far into it.
And then, like I get to like the last dungeon and I'm like, is it really so different if I just give up now?
Yeah.
If I just finish it? Like, I don't know.
The way I get with like video games is like I'll get super into them and I'll play it for a couple months straight, right? And then I'll like set it down and I'll be like, oh right, I'm booking shows right now. And then I'll like get into that and then I just completely forget about it and won't touch it for months.
Same Okay.
You know
but
what I'm
like
saying?
Yes.
shows are not anywhere near as important as video games.
True.
Live
Yeah.
music in front of you with actual other people.
I know.
Fuck that, man.
An
Just
actual,
finish
like-
this game.
It's the same thing that honestly happened to me with Oblivion. I had one profile that was woeful because I had no clue what I was doing the first time with Oblivion. I got about 69 or 70 hours in, stopped, and I
Whoa.
picked it up again, and I loved it. I wasn't even doing the main quest, and I think I put 30 or 30 hours. You get one more quest into the main quest line, but just I'd even scaled it down to easy. I got killed by a mountain lion. I'm like, I'll come back to this tomorrow.
No. Oh my god. So the best part about Oblivion is definitely not the main quest. Like that's a slog. Like
It's the themes.
endlessly in the plane of Oblivion, you're like fighting the same, like, you know, whatever, like
Those things suck.
whatever their names are.
Something I found
right
on
now.
the plane of Oblivion was a necklace where if somebody attacked me, they were taking damage. And it was like 1 out of 2 hits, this was going to happen. I'm like, this is great. The game is now.
Oh, and my thing was like, oh man, you could find like the eye of somebody and it like up to like the amount of shit you could carry, and then you could like just endlessly like do the alchemy thing. Like, oh, it was so good. It's just the best game ever. But the main quest, as with most great games, like that's the most boring part. The side quests are great.
Mhm.
And the second expansion for that, because I'd never played it till both had come out.
Shivering
It
Isles.
comes on clearance at half price for like $3, which is how I played it. But yeah, like Shivering Isles, man. Like the mania and dementia, like the best shit.
I have the 360 Game of the Year edition. I never installed the second disc. Just was like, we're just gonna go through it, and then at some point,
so good.
I don't know why.
And Chrono Trigger. Oh,
Like,
I want to look into Chrono Trigger. And you said it was on SNES. Is there an emulator on Switch
so
for that?
if you download ZSNES is my favorite. It's an emulator for SNES on the PC. And you can actually like up the frame rate to 10 times. So in the parts that you have to grind, which you should for defeating Labos, like, yeah, you can just go up to the 10 times frame rate. ZSNES, and then the ROM you can find on, I don't know, I found it on ROM Paradise. Who knows if that exists anymore?
I'm sure it's easy.
I mean, I could probably just Dropbox you the files. So,
yeah, sick. That would actually be cool. Yeah, that sounds dope.
But you have to read the guides because they're like, that's like the first game, I think. I don't know, but it's the first game I encountered that had like 7 different endings.
There's many before it that have that, but I think it might be like the first like mainstream game that.
It was the first like well done. Many different endings, many characters, like things you do affect the rest of the course of the game. Like it's not
that's
linear
so
at all.
interesting. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it rules.
Wait, so what was SNES? Was that Nintendo?
Yeah, Super Nintendo.
Okay.
Super Nintendo.
Like a Final Fantasy like 3.6 and and 2.4. That was both SNES.
That's it.
Sorry, we're like super nerds, so I apologize about that.
No, it's good, dude.
This is
I
good.
was also gonna say like here's Donkey Kong Land.
Dude, that's dope. Is that a
advanced SP?
Yeah, it's an SP. That's so
Which
sick.
I actually have.
That's mine,
I still have.
actually, to be fair.
Yeah, it is his. But I still somewhere in this house I have 2 Game Boy Colors, and I was
That's
gonna
dope.
say like Elden Ring is hard, but like I still, honest to God, think that like most Game Boy Color games were harder than any fucking console game to come out since.
So
I don't know how
like I've still never beaten this game, and I've been playing it since I was literally 9. This is the same cartridge
That's
that I bought
wild.
in like 1998. You know?
Wow.
Yeah.
I feel
Still never beaten it.
Jen is also in the honeymoon phase of Elden Ring, where like it's like,
I'm gonna hate it.
like I can do this. This is cool.
Yeah.
And
It's gonna get so hard.
she hasn't come across like any of the classic FromSoft bosses where you're like dying to them 80 times in a row and like going outside and like breaking a fucking window.
Noah like
So
fucked me up bad, but I got her.
yeah, well, I mean, you're doing great, but just wait. I'm telling you.
just don't hurt
I
a
did-
horse. Please
I also
don't
want to
hurt
make.
a horse.
I
We
wanna
will
make
never hurt a horse ever.
I want to say, like, once and for all, that video games are every bit as important to me as music is.
Dude,
sadly.
that's a good statement.
Even though I don't, I mean, I don't create video games because I don't know how to.
Yeah.
But rest assured, I would if I could.
Maddie,
Yeah, I
what?
don't know. They're super important. I love them, and music's cool, but like video games are forever, dude.
That is
Real quick,
amazing.
Oblivion soundtrack's so good.
I
it's
love
like
that.
Winton Hill.
Yeah.
So right after I met Jen, like the first thing I walked into this house that we live in that we're leaving now, and I was
Yeah.
like, "Who's playing this Bill Orcutt record in Columbus, Ohio? What the fuck?"
Yeah.
And she was like, "Me, dumbass, like welcome to my house." And I was like, "All right, cool, I love you, already, I think." And then like a week or two later, we were like talking, and she was like, "Oh yeah, I used to play World of Warcraft," and I was like,
What?
"Me too."
My brother
Let's get
did.
married,
I watched
bro.
my brother
Yeah.
play it.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
Sounds
so
what we're
sick,
gonna
dude.
say.
That is
Yeah.
awesome.
And actually, in 2020, we did actually go through another World of Warcraft phase.
That's tight. So, how does World of Warcraft work? I had friends that played it, but so is that like an online game or
sucks now.
something? Okay.
It's the greatest MMO of art of all time. Oh god, it's a great game. I actually still like think about it a lot.
Yeah.
It really is like being addicted to a drug, I think.
it is.
I
because
love,
it never ends. You're always chasing a fucking carrot on a stick.
Yeah.
yeah, and
Like-
the returns are definitely diminishing, but like it's still so good.
Mhm.
Oh man, I love WoW. And actually, like, I mean, I say Oblivion's my favorite game, and I've sunk the most hours into it, but really
Mhm.
WoW is what I've sunk the most hours into. It's just a great game. It's great.
That's awesome. Yeah, I never got into World of Warcraft, but I had friends that would spend hours
You're-
on that game.
You're
Oh, yeah.
lucky. Don't get into it.
Yeah,
I
don't
know.
do it. Don't start.
You guys are talking about it, and I'm
Especially
like,
now,
should
I
I?
hear it's bastardized even more. I don't know. Oh, it's so good though.
It
Yeah.
really is designed to like make you like a crackhead for video games, basically. So
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very insidious and like I don't know. It's like it is a devious, fucking evil-hearted game. That really just wants you to play it more.
My
And
brother
costs money.
My brother escaped after the Burning Crusade sometime in like mid 2007. Don't know how he did it, but he did.
Oh, me too.
Yeah,
that's when
that's when I got it.
That's when I bailed too. Yeah,
Ugh.
but then I went back. So
Wait, what is the
Same.
Burning Crusades thing?
First expansion.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I see. Okay. Interesting.
there have been many expansions since then, but oh man, it's so good.
Yeah.
I should talk about it. It makes me want to play it again.
No.
We're going to start seeing tweets that you started playing again.
I
You
know.
guys are going in.
It's not going to happen. We're both too smart at this point.
It might happen. I don't know. We'll see.
So Maddie, should we talk about Astral Editions at this point?
Thomas, I think we got to talk about Astral Editions at this point.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
So
haven't talked about Astral Editions. At this
Yeah,
point.
we've been off on a lot of things,
Yeah.
but
yeah. So you guys have run a label before, right? Called Sondecker, right?
yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
I started that in 2015. Sonnedecker is named after, I mean, I know that the people on the show won't be able to see it, but you can see there are these photos behind us.
Mhm.
And like those four on the outskirts, like those are the Sonnedeckers, like they're my ancestors.
Oh, that's sick.
Like my great aunts and my great grandma.
Mhm.
Yeah, so they're the Sonnedeckers. And I'm just like obsessed with them. Like I have other artwork from them. They were like the women in my family on my mom's side who were like artists
Mhm.
and musicians. Which my family's pretty square right down the line.
Yeah.
But like they were really cool. So
That's
I named
cool.
the label after them. And I wanted to do, like tapes for people, mostly in Columbus. So the first thing I did for Sonnedecker was this tape by a guy named George Lockett, who will never play a live show ever. He was just a regular at the record shop, and he would buy like dollar records of like, I don't know, the Beatles and like ABBA, like
That's
whatever
sick.
you
Yeah.
could find for $1.
Mhm.
But he would sample them, and like, I don't know, like I'm not sure where George's mental faculties exist, but it's not where most of us do. But he was the sweetest dude, and he just had like all of these like boom boxes and turntables and reel-to-reels like in his apartment, this very elaborate, crazy system that he put up. And he would make this beautiful music. Like, I'll never forget the first time he played it for me, like I was like crying in the shop. Like my friend Emmy, who like Emmy ran Load Sound Department, like the bootleg tape label.
Okay.
That did like all of the amazing free jazz shit for a while. They work at Academy now in New York. But George, like we befriended George, and George brought in tape, and yeah, like Emmy did the artwork for it, and I duplicated it, and yeah, we put it out, and it was great. And yeah, anyway, after that, like we just, I don't know, I put out a few other things, like for a friend, Chuck, and after that, like several other like Central Ohio artists. Yeah, it was cool. It was fairly short-lived though, and the astral thing really helped. Like, I don't know, like Sundecker was kind of like dying out, where I was like, I don't really know what else I can do with Columbus right now. Like maybe I should expand, and we kind of did for one release. It was Alan Cortis and Cyrus Perret and Scott Forastro, like Hotek, had this tape I put out, and then yeah, then Matt moved here, and after that, when did we
That
do
got
after
put out. That got put out after I moved here.
Oh, it did. Okay.
Yeah.
I
I mean, like we put out like 4 tapes on Sondecker, and 2 of them were our own, basically.
Well, after you moved here,
doing like tour tape stuff, like after I moved here, and then we called it a day because the pandemic happened, and we were like, well, that's about it. So now, like, now that Nate asked us to help with Astral Editions, we have a bunch of stuff lined up throughout like early 2023 that we are very excited about.
When did Nate ask you guys kind of to run Astral Editions?
It was like January of this
Yeah.
year. Well, it was
December or January of end of last year, earlier this year.
And I really think the impetus was like there was a thread on Twitter where Mark Masters was asking, he was like, hey, like I've fallen off of you know, like listening to electric guitarists, like solo electric guitarists, like can people send me shit that they like? So I posted a thing about our friend Cyrus Perret, and was just like, this dude is like the best electric guitarist I can imagine, who you probably haven't heard of yet, you know, because like I also love like the Lorcut and Wendy Eisenberg, and like, you know.
Yes.
But I was like, Cyrus, like he probably doesn't know that. And I guess Nate saw that, and he was so enamored with this insane like 31-minute track that I posted of Cyrus's.
It's
great. Oh, it's so great. But he ended up like reaching out to he reached out to me and was like, hey, do you want like or can I get Cyrus's email? And then he reached out to Cyrus and was like, can I put out a tape? And Cyrus was like, yeah, like that's great. And so he ended up doing that, which is a beautiful, beautiful like tape that he put out earlier this year. It was the first Astral Editions of 2022. No, second. First was J.R. Bohannon.
Oh, that was good.
I actually have both of those. Yeah, they're both really good.
So good.
Yeah.
Good.
But yeah, like after that, he was just like, yeah, do you want to like do this? And I think, yeah, that was probably in January, February.
Yeah, somewhere around then.
Yeah. So we agreed to do that, and we immediately set to work, and now we have things that are happening later this year.
Everything takes forever in the pressing land of making music.
Yeah, nowadays.
So we have like 3 things that are already pretty much pressed. 2 more en route. And then we have some stuff that is going to be going on order shortly at the either very end of this year or early next year. But I think it's all stuff that anyone who likes anything else that is on Editions, or if they like anyone else on Editions, like us or whoever else has been put out on it, like they're definitely going to dig it.
Yeah. But the next 3 to come out are Shells.
That's exciting. Yeah, we had Shelly on the show, actually. Yeah.
Shelly rules.
Yeah. So there's Shells, and there's Johnny Coley. And Johnny is like an amazing like elderly like queer Southern poet and sound artist from the South, and he has help from like Turner Williams Jr. is on it, and Jasper Lee, who runs Sweet Wreath Records. Yeah, they're all on it. And then the third one will
it's a trio record of Tom Nguyen, Patrick Shirawishi, and Alex Cunningham.
Oh, that's sick.
That is Alex's tapes from this year, Shoot for Olivia. This was great.
Yeah, it's so good.
That song really, really threw me for a loop.
Man, there's one that that Torn Light put out. And I'm trying to find the name of it. Oh, God damn it.
I mean,
upcoming... I think it's Songs from the Stream. But yeah, Torn Light put it out for Alex, and it's fucking incredible. Like I've listened to it so many times in my car. It's like Henry Flint, but like even better, like way better. Well, which is saying so much because I already love Henry Flint so much. But yeah, anyway, it's going to be so good.
It was good to see back in 2020, start of the pandemic there, when we were doing work for KCSB Zine. I had reached out to Nate Cross to do an interview, which he did. He must have done this late at night. He just went through and filled out question by question. And
it's always after he puts his kids to bed. Yeah.
Actual Editions had kind of finally started doing physicals, and he was like, I'm pivoting it. I want to do cassettes. And he said at the time, as far as the curation, it's a work in progress still. I've always just been interested in more outsider or fringe or just plain strange music that isn't jazz. And I want to use Astral Editions to explore that experimental side. And very quickly, that was the thing, was by 2021, he's like, okay, we got vinyl. We got, you had Hallie Palumbo's Cylinder Loops. It was coming right after.
One of my favorites.
Yeah, that's so good.
One of our favorites. And it was right after like the already like absolute stone cold classic of John Coladija's At Dawn and First Fire.
Yeah. And Montgomery and Turner. Oh
yeah. That was goodness. Just like stone cold classic after stone cold classic of like, what is going on with this label? Where is it pivoting to? Because really, Cylinder Loops had blown my mind. I didn't think that was going to ever come out on a label like this, that he would ever want to put something out like that. So to see it.
We're going to run it into the ground for you, just so you know.
Oh.
It's just gonna be Hellcat Records, right?
Yeah. No. I mean, like, so we're very excited about the 3 that are already lined up, but like, I can't say officially, but on deck is a new Sunburn Hand of the Man recording that they're working.
Yeah.
Yes.
And John St. Pelvin, who I don't know if you know him. He's a dude out of Minneapolis, who we played with at Drone Not Drones in early 2020, like right before the pandemic. And John St. Pelvin, I will never forget, like Matt and I weren't even in the same part of the room when he started playing, but we were both like completely destroyed by this set, like crying, and we found each other and we were both already crying, being like, oh my God, this dude's so amazing. He's so good.
He's put out like split records with like Cobb Baird and shit like that too.
Oh, Cobb Baird's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a guitarist and a vocalist. And I feel like if I really had to like really simplify it, he's like Robbie Basho, but like so much fucking more avant-garde. And I feel shitty saying that, but like it's true. And it's so much better than that makes it sound. Like he's incredible. He's a genius, I think.
He is very good.
And yeah.
And we have other stuff lined up after that, but we can't talk about it.
Yeah,
so
those are 5 that we already announced. This year, and that's all we can talk about. But there will be a 6th for this year, I think, and there will be more next year too.
The one thing I guess I'd want to know is there any kind of core tenets or anything you've agreed to? Are you guys really just emphasizing tapes? Are you going to do CDs or vinyl?
It will be, I think what we're going to try to do batches of tapes, just as an experiment, doing batches.
Nice.
Sick.
But mostly tapes, but we're going to try to do like a fairly steady, but like limited stream of records, like maybe 3 per year.
Oh, that's still sick. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, like that, I don't really think there's a rule. It really is just like depending on what we can put out with Nate at the time and what is given to us under the guise of being like, hey, can you put this out?
Yeah.
That really kind of like guides it. And it's not like a picking favorites or thinking anything's better than anything else. It's just like, as we're just kind of putting stuff out as it comes, and that's it. And there's not really a huge plan. It's just like if we think something's really good and we want to put it out, then we'll put it out in any format.
We are still definitely in the zone right now where we're like asking people, and like people reaching out to us. I mean, we have a lot of ideas, and we feel like there are a lot of people out there who we really love, who we want to like make more widely known.
Yeah.
I mean, that being said, there, like it's not like it's, like if someone reaches out to us and they have this amazing thing, like we're not going to ignore that. But
yeah, we will listen to everything in a non-timely manner that is sent to us.
Likewise, have been
but
there.
But we have a lot of ideas of who we want to put out there, like people like John St. Kelvin. Like we reached out to him because we were just like, man, like we don't see a lot of people like scrambling to put your shit out, but like yet you are absolutely incredible, and the world needs to hear you. Which we didn't say, of course. We're just like, hey, can we put a thing out? And he's like, yeah, cool.
And like we first hit up Shelly too because A, we love Shelly, and B, she hadn't put anything out solo for like a little while.
Years.
So
yeah, a couple years at least.
I was very happy to have her be like, yeah, totally, I'll make you a tape. That'd be great.
Yeah, Shelly is a legend. She also has a label too, which is really cool. Yeah,
she sure does.
She does like everything. Yeah.
Shout out to Ginkgo Tapes.
Yeah, Ginkgo Tapes is sick.
I don't know. Well wishes for the future. We're really excited to see what comes of it, and I know. So August, at least by late August, there might be something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that we're shooting for around then, but you should maybe expect like September or later.
Sick.
We're hoping that'll be the time. We're entering the final stages of getting shit together. It just depends on how quickly
it's manufacturing.
Yeah.
I keep thinking that August is so far away, but it's literally in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
It is.
And that's when we have to be out of our apartment and into our new one. So
yeah.
We'll just expect September.
I would say September is a good bet.
Yeah. Tight. Well, I guess that just about does it for all the questions we have. I guess where can people keep up with all of your guys' endeavors?
So that's a good question. If you want to keep up with us, we are going to make a separate Astral Editions Instagram shortly.
Oh, sick. Actually, that's really cool.
And Twitter.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
And email.
Yay.
Yeah, it'll make things a little less confusing. And we're going to do that like in the next, I think, couple days or something like that after we get some art orders and stuff done.
Yeah, that's dope. I'm excited for that.
Look for that. There will be a separate editions thing. And, you know, follow the spirits one too, because we're both going to just be following each other.
Oh man, yeah. Nate has some really amazing things planned for spirits too, of course, because that's the legendary label.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do want to say that it is an absolute dream to have been asked to be any part of Astral in any way, shape, or form. And that, like, even right now, after working on all this stuff for like 6 months or whatever, I still can't believe it. So it really is, it's an honor.
Dude, I mean, like, it's like pretty legendary because, like, if you think about it, like Astral Spirits is like kind of like the face of, like, I feel like almost this like experimental scene. I feel like they're like one of like the biggest, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. It's
at least like
a
lot of like the best like modern jazz.
Exactly.
Sure.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
Like,
yeah. I mean,
Tiny Mixtapes have put it on their top 30 list, and that's organized alphabetically, so that's number 1 when you go on.
Yeah.
And it really, I mean, Thomas got me into Astral Spirits. That was right around the time Patrick Starishi's Kamishi Trio had come out, and that album was huge. Master's Freaks Thrice was huge for me for opening up. It's like, there are people that are making like batshit, you know, spectral fiction noise or speculative fiction noise, but the label, I mean, Jamie Zavira, who does the bass in Bill Callahan's band, he doing that art, which I also thought was so crucial. And I was like, this as a package rules. How is everyone missing this? And that totally got me. That got us to where we are right now. So Astral Spirits has been huge for us.
Yeah. I mean, like,
it's so huge. And like you know, fucking like Susan Alcorn like is on like an Astral release. Like, what more could you want?
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
And legendary, and like Luke Stewart, like just these legendary people.
Getting all of Luke Stewart stuff through there has been great. I still get a ton of the promo, and I miss out on a lot of it because I'm just in it for the tapes. I really do love and miss their tapes. I even miss this year's bundle with Goatface, which ruled. Sick. Got that and listened in January. I'm like, yeah, this is great. I'm gonna get the bundle, and then just flat out forgot. And I'm like, well, I hope they do a reissue.
I mean, we are.
Oh, it's so good.
We are gonna do our very, very best to continue to uphold the legacy of quality that Astral Spirits has put out. And I really do think that like what we have lined up with them, people are gonna dig. But they are releases that I feel like normally otherwise would not have come out on the label.
Yeah.
And that's like no fault of Nate's or whatever. It's just like,
well, he can't know everything.
Us being from like a different region and knowing a bunch of sick jammers.
Yeah, so. For sure.
Yeah, like a lot of Midwest and like East Coast stuff that he might not have known.
Totally. It was complete luck again that Astral Spirits has started as it was, because he had the backing of oh god, what was it? It was Mononophus Press. I forget their name.
Yeah.
And they eventually had gone away, but he still was like continuing and just cranked it out. And then, especially in the last couple of years, to jump to like legitimate. I wouldn't like. Oh god, because I always have my tier system of indies, but it's like Astral Spirits feels like a second tier indie, which is huge for doing experimental jazz or stuff. To go into like my favorite record shop and see Sarah Hines, the reimagining of romance. I forget the proper title, but
the
reinvention of romance. It's like, whoa, okay. Next to like, I don't know, Camerou's Peel, I'm like, okay, we've made it.
Right. Yeah. No, it's really right on that level. Oh man, Sarah's amazing too. That's a whole other thing.
Sarah rules.
We've wanted to talk to her for ages. I wish I could have taken a class like that in college.
Yeah, dude, we got to get her on the show still. We should do it.
Just want to hear her talk about chill out. She can just give a lecture on it. I'll just sit there and be like, yep, I am.
I know. Just Venmo her like $100 and be like, talk to me for like 30 minutes.
I played a show with her. I played a show with her here in Columbus and didn't even realize it was her.
Oh wow!
Oh yeah,
because she was playing drums for another band.
That's literally how it was when we saw Shells. I had Shells' cassette and didn't know she was playing until like a week later. I realized, oh my god, I saw Shells. It's the Unifactor tape. She didn't even bring it.
Yeah,
I got all 3 of her other tapes. Or no, it was the two live ones, and then Shells 2. I love her.
I had that record out tonight in case we had to show you what we were playing. That's how I found out about her. I had seen Tyvek, but I didn't realize that she did what she did. And then the person who shall remain nameless, who did some bootlegs in Detroit of like legendary shit, like Alice Coltrane and Terry Riley and Pharoah Sanders, like that same individual sent me Shells 2 when I was working at a record shop and was just like, hey, you need to hear this. And I put it on and I was just like, holy shit, like this is so fucking good. And he was like, yeah, I know.
Also, shout out to
that anonymous man.
I guess that kind of wraps it up, guys. I don't know. Do you guys have any last thoughts you want to put out into the airwaves?
I just hope people are like into what we do with editions, and I hope they've listened long enough, like through the slog of us talking about video games. And
library music.
The less fun things. But like those are the 3 things I care about. COVID, I hope to one day not care about. But video games will be forever, and just as music is. Yeah.
Sick.
Yeah. I'll just real quick say I hope that everyone likes everything that we put out on editions. And if they don't, that's fine. You can just message me, but I think you'll like it. Thank you to everyone that got Sea of Stars, which is that CD thing improv that I did on Riley Walker's label.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even realize about that. Goodness.
It's just an improv thing, but I'm glad that Riley put it out, and I'm glad that people seem to dig it.
It's great, I think.
And I'm stoked to have another record on American Dreams. Then we have a bunch of stuff coming out. Thank
Exciting
you.
Stuff.
And I just want to say thanks to everyone for real, that has ever listened to anything that we've ever done.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for having us on the show, not only once, but twice.
Hell yeah.
When we heard you were curating, I'm like, we have to get him back. We have to.
Oh, thank you.
It really means a lot, for real. I just hope everyone's doing well in these totally fucked up times.
Yeah.
If you can get out here, you're getting a 6-pack on the house.
Oh yeah,
we'll
be out there as soon as we can. Like we said earlier, to bring it full circle, like as soon as we can. Conceivably, we will be out. I mean, especially because that tour that we planned, there were so many states that I had never even been to. I've been to California, but I hadn't been to Washington or Oregon or New Mexico or Arizona or Texas. There were so many states, even Louisiana, you've never been. So we're gonna do it. But
goodness, I'm trying again to get out at least to the Midwest or catch more stuff. And I'm hoping to go back to Big Ears next year. I hope to see people at Big Ears again.
Me too. I hope
we would love to play it.
I actually hope to play it next year.
Oh wow.
I didn't know until earlier this year. Someone submitted on our behalf. Very kind of him. But we're hoping that maybe we're a big enough deal that next year we can actually do it, because that's
dude, that would be legendary.
But I went in 2015 and it was so fucking amazing.
Getting to watch Claire Rose set and seeing like her make that jump up to do it. Yeah, please.
Yeah.
Please be there next year. That would be a huge like jump. Like Madhu Mokhtar got to play, and I was talking with a friend. I'm like, let's feel as though Illy God should be playing this.
I never expect anything, and I'm always grateful for anything that we get. So
yeah, but it would be so cool if we could.
Yeah, it would be nice.
We're excited to see what the future brings here. And anyways, that's all we have for today. Thanks for tuning into TBD on KCSB FM 91.9 every Sunday, 4 to 6 p.m. and NetNet Radio every Saturday, 4 p.m. This has been Jen Powers and Matthew Rolin. Thanks again for being on the show again, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was great.